bear with me. I've actually got a lot of notes written down on. In this video, we're going to talk briefly about how to make better decisions, or how I'm learning how to make better life decisions. Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. My name is Ryan Conlon, and if you've never been here before, this is a channel where we talk about multiple different things. And today we're talking about how to make better decisions, or how to make better life decisions, which I am not an expert or I'm not perfect at. So I have a load of notes here written down on the topic, and the reason why is I used to be really indecisive, and I still kind of am, and I think my family and my girlfriend can all take account for how indecisive that I can be. From deciding where to eat, from deciding what clothes to wear that day, for deciding what career I want to make or what I want to do. Being indecisive is something that I really struggled with in the past and still do struggle to this day. So I've had to learn some sort of techniques in order to improve my decision-making process and how to go about it on a day-to-day situation, because it can be really frustrating for people with me in a car when we want to decide where we want to go to eat, or it can be really frustrating and we decide, oh, I should do this, but I should do that. And I've implemented a couple of techniques that have really helped in the short term and in the medium term and in the long term, and I thought I'd share them with you today. And hopefully you get some value out of it in this notebook, but hopefully you do, maybe you don't. But I feel like decisions or life's made up with tiny decisions, and they compound over time. And you can either have a good day or a bad day based on what decisions you make throughout the day, starting in the morning until the evening. So enough of me rambling, let's get into it and some ways that I've improved my decision-making processes. So firstly, I want to start with the short-term decision-making process that I use. The first thing I do is just decide. I know this sounds really easy and not complicated. The main thing to do is just decide. So when I'm in a restaurant and I'm looking at what to eat in the menu, what I'll do is I'll look around, and the first decision that comes to mind, I'll just decide. Because making a decision in the short term for small things is a lot easier for me than letting it go and go and go. And then the more choices you have, the less likely you are to make a decision. So what I've learned to do is, as soon as something comes up in the short term, can be really small, where to go, what to eat, what to wear, I'll just decide, and then if I don't like that decision, I can then change it after. Or if I can't change it, I'll just have to bear with the consequences. But I just get better in the habit of deciding and making quicker decisions. That was really helpful for me in the short term. So the second thing is not using 7. So this is a technique that I heard in a podcast with Tim Ferriss, and I think it was by a business owner, and he uses it to hire people. It's quite bizarre, but I just use it in short-term decisions. So you take a scale from 0 to 10, but you can't use 7. 7 is this cop-out number that people use when you're filling out a survey or you're filling out multiple choices on a scale of 1 to 10, everyone hits 7 because it's like good. It's like a really big cop-out. So what if you take away 7? So let's say, for example, on a scale of 1 to 10 or a scale of 0 to 10, how much do I want to do this task? And if I don't click 7, or if I don't use 7, it's a lot easier for me to make a decision, because an 8 means I really want to do it, whereas 6 means I kind of don't want to do it. It's a really effective technique that I use in my decision-making processes. By not using 7, it kind of eliminates the cop-out and makes it very easy for me to make decisions. If it's 8, I'm going to do it. If it's 6, I'm just not going to do it. And this business owner would use this for company ratings, would use this for choosing what employees to hire and choosing what major decisions to make, but I tend not to do that. Just for the smaller decisions, but in occasion big decisions, but mainly the small decisions. The third thing is a law by Mark Manson, the guy who wrote the book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving, and he wrote another book called Everything's Here's I can't remember it. Anyway, it'll come to my mind maybe, I don't know. He talks about it in the relationship sense. It's the law of yes or hell no. So whether you want to decide whether to do something, if it's not a yes, then it's a hell no. It makes things really easy to decide. If you're not really excited about the decision, or if someone invites you to go to the pub and you're like, I'm kind of not feeling it, then it'll be a hell no. But if it's a yes, then I'm definitely going to go. That's a major decision. So his law of saying yes or hell no is a really easy way, because you're either really excited about the decision and you're going to commit, or you're not at all and you won't go. And that's another really easy and really cheap way in order to make a decision in the short term. And that's what I found is really effective. He goes into crazy things about relationships and using the law, which I haven't looked into too much detail, but using it for smaller decisions has really helped me. So those are the 3 main things that I use for short-term decisions. Now, as we start getting into medium and long-term decisions, this is even harder. The important thing that I used to do is I say a poor decision, oh, do I want to do it, do I not want to do it, oh, I don't really know, do I? Someone would say, write down a pros and cons list. And I was like, what's a pros and cons list? So I take a sheet of paper, I divide it in half, write down pros on one side, cons to the side, and I'd list out the pros and cons. And usually if you have more pros than cons, it's usually a decision that you're biasing towards the good things. But if it's more cons than pros, you're usually biasing towards it's going to be a negative decision. But they could be your biases, and it's not always the truth that I found out. So doing a pros and cons list and really taking a 360 approach and thinking of all the pros, the ones that you even expect, and all the cons makes it a lot easier than to formulate a decision. I'd be hesitant in using this approach. I still write it down, but it's not as effective for me as other ways of making a decision. Another key factor is do not make a decision when you're fatigued or tired. In the past, I've been really fatigued and making long-term important decisions when I'm tired or fatigued and I'm just not in the right headspace. So people normally say as a cliche, oh, you should sleep on it, it will help, but actually sleeping and restoring your brain's cognitive functions can really help in the decision-making process, which I found for longer-term decisions. Making decisions earlier in the morning when you feel fresher is a lot easier than doing it when you're really fatigued in the evening time. The next tip is using your intuition. Now, I know what you're thinking. Intuition, what is this guy talking about? Trusting your gut, what the hell is this guy talking about? Well, there's good reasons. So apparently your gut or your gut feeling is your second brain. So you obviously have your main brain, but then you have the gut feeling, which is around the stomach area, the intestines, which is meant to be a second brain. You know when you're in a place or in a pub and you feel like, oh, there's something off, or you meet someone. Like, oh, there's something off about this person, but I just can't get it. I have just a bad, good feeling about it. And you're like, what? This doesn't make sense. And then it turns out weeks down the line that something was wrong and it just comes to fruition without even knowing it. So they say that your gut knows more than you, and rightly so. Apparently the gut has 100 million neurons on the digestive tract, where the spinal cord has less. So it's exactly almost like a second brain. Your body can pick up body language and things that you can't even cognitively process yet. How to develop your intuition? I'm not that sure. For me, it's been the thing that I've used over time, and every time I've gone against my gut feeling, it's really come back to hit me in the face. Every time I've used it and trusted my intuition, it's really helped. I feel like the more that I use it and the more that I trust it, the better things become. The more that I don't use it and don't trust it, the more things go in reverse. The last thing I'd say is about making long-term and important decisions, which I figured out from my own personal experience, is that making decisions when you're in a loud or noisy place or there's a lot of things going on can be really difficult. So they say that sometimes in the showers the best ideas can pop up because things aren't, I wouldn't say silent, but you're still. And that's where I believe Pharrell gets the best lyrics to his songs and gets all the choruses or all the melodies for his songs. For me, it's really staying still or going for walks in a park or in forest or in nature can really help with making long-term decisions. And I know it's a bit weird, but I know it's a bit cliche, but it actually could potentially help. So anyway, folks, that's all. Hopefully this helped and hopefully you got some value from it in the decision-making process. And I haven't figured it out whatsoever, but these are some tricks that I used or some hacks that I've used that hopefully can help you or you can get some value from it down the line. Anyway, folks, I appreciate if you give the video a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos. I'll be uploading every week. I've tended to upload a video every Sunday evening. It's been Monday for the last while, but I'll try to get it to Sunday. Anyway, thanks folks, and till next time.
Yes.